Welcome to Empowermente, the headquarters of personal empowerment. Hola mis amores, welcome to today's episode of Empowermente. We are diving into a very interesting topic, and as you know, we have the same setup as last time because I recorded 2 episodes in one day. And this is a topic that was actually brought to me by one of my clients who is part of Level Latina. When we chatted, when she was thinking about joining the program, she didn't really relate to what I would speak to about, feeling stuck or feeling overwhelmed, feeling like they had to be perfect and doing all these things, feeling fearful of stepping into that next level and that thing that she wanted to do. But the thing is that when I told her, because we had a conversation, to me, it was resistance. She was being called to do something, but there was resistance there. And I want to talk to you about why resistance shows up in our journey of finding and living in our purpose and what we can do to move through that resistance. And I want to clarify that purpose doesn't always have to be some clear, grand thing that we're supposed to do in this lifetime. Sometimes it's just tapping into our heart, tapping into what feels true to us, and it can be shown in small actions. It doesn't have to be something that is necessarily big or grander, the big thing you're going to do in your life. And so for Joanna, she allowed me to use her name. She was really a person that had been called to start sharing her knowledge as a therapist. And as a Latina living in North Carolina, she had experienced so much, like not only being the first one in her family to go to college, but also being the first one to marry outside her culture and have kids as a cycle breaker. And so she knew she had so much knowledge that she wanted to share. And she wasn't really fearful of it, but I think she had this resistance of feeling like too much of a spotlight, like she had it all together or she was some savior. But the thing that I told her is that her resistance was showing up because she was focusing on herself. And when she started to focus on the service, on the people she would be serving and helping through sharing her own experiences, not as a therapist, but her value as her human being, it would change the game. And I've loved to see her transformation. It's been really amazing. I'm actually going to have her come into the next, one of the next podcast episodes. And so it's just a really good topic that I want to talk to you about today. And I want to talk about why resistance shows up before our expansion, how resistance feels in the body so that we learn to recognize it, common ways resistance shows up, and I give you an example now, but there's other ways that it shows up. And then I'm going to give you examples of personas to help you illustrate it and what resistance is really saying to you and how to move past it. So it's a super packed episode with lots of value. I really, really hope that you enjoy it. And let's go in through it. So first of all, I want to validate this experience if you feel resistance as you're stepping into our purpose. So for me, as I thought about doing content creation and public speaking outside of my 9-to-5 job, and I was called to even create a group, which is crazy because I actually created Next Level Latina, which is my group program 4 years, almost 3 to 4 years after I got the idea, because I just had so much resistance. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I quit my corporate job at Microsoft, it was because I had a feeling. I had a very strong feeling that I cannot have another way to describe it other than my guides were saying, hey girl, like it's time to leave and let's get you to the other side. Let's get you to entrepreneurship. It really, really, that's how it felt. It just felt like a very, very strong intuition telling me to do it. And so I was like, no, there was really, really a big part of me that felt like I wanted to continue in that career because I wanted to see it through. I wanted to see what it had to offer. I had worked so hard to be there. And for me, I would just kind of felt like, hey, universe, I don't think it's fair. And I had so much resistance when I knew that my service in Latinas, in people through the different mediums that I found was what was truly fulfilling to me. And I think it was just a part of my ego ego that was just like, I don't want to do this. I really don't. This is too risky. Like, I don't want to go through that. I just want to be in my corporate job. But even now saying it, like, it's just like a level of comfort that I was used to. And I knew that I wanted to be happier. I knew that I wanted to seek fulfillment and that I wasn't going to find it in my job. And so for me, it's just a way to illustrate how resistance showed up for me, even though I got my higher calling, and it can show up in different ways. And any time we expand, every time that we expand, we're going to experience that contraction because it's just new to our nervous system. And I think rather than looking at it as like, oh my gosh, why am I struggling? It's better like, girl, you are doing something new, you're doing something different, and it is difficult, and it's normal for your body to be scared. It's normal to contract a bit. And so whenever we have new ideas, when we're looking at a new identity, a new level of visibility, maybe new risks, that's going to happen. When you pivot, when you're jumping into something new, that's going to happen. And so your brain and your subconscious mind, which we covered in the last podcast, it likes familiarity, it likes stability, it likes feeling safe, it likes whatever it was used to. And so if you step into something new, even just think about it, it's gonna make your brain like shiver. It's gonna be like, what the fuck? No, And so when you start moving towards your purpose, your system is going to say, wow, we never done this before. Let's actually just shut down and not let you do it. And so I'm not being dramatic. This is what actually happens. And you're not being dramatic. You're just moving in a way that your body isn't used to, and it wants to keep you safe. And so moving on to how resistance feels in the body so that you learn to recognize, I'm going to give you 6 different ways that resistance shows up in your body. The first one is tightness or contraction. So I'm reading this book called Bending Reality by Angelica. I don't remember her last name right now. I'll go get the book, but it basically talks about how at a fundamental level, we will always know if we're going to the right decision based on our body. Our body knows everything. And so it is so wise when we want to go towards the direction of our dreams. We will feel expansion. We will feel like this is exciting. We know that we're not in the headspace or we're not in the correct way of being if we feel our body contract. And so that is one way that it shows up in our body. If our chest is contracted or our belly is contracted, we know that this is a place of contraction and it's a place of limitness. Another way that it can show up is shortness of breath. If and I coach people through this, as I'm listening to people, one of the things that I really look for is how are they breathing as they're telling me what they're experiencing. I recently coached somebody who was sharing a whole bunch of things about their idea for their business, and she was sharing the plan, but I could hear her shortness of breath. And when she finished telling me everything she wanted to say, she took like a big breath, like a big sigh. She was like it kind of felt like she was tired just from telling me everything that she was telling me. And what that tells me is that she's in a state of fear. She's in a state of contraction. Even if it's something that makes her really excited, she is not in a state that is going to allow her to fully enjoy that experience. Continuing on in how resistance feels in the body. So we went through number 1, tightness or contraction, 2, shortness of breath, 3, anxious or a buzzy feeling. So let's talk about that. When you have anxiety in your body, I want you to remember one thing. Anxiety and excitement are the same thing physiologically in your body. So you might just be excited and are interpreting it as anxious. Now, whether it's anxiety or excitement, you still have to release it through the body. This may be TMI, but every time that I'm slightly anxious, it is always a sign for me that for sure I have to go to the restroom. And that's how I release it. If you are feeling anxious, you can go exercise, shake, do breathing exercises so that you can release it. Okay, that was number 3. Number 4 is heaviness or fatigue. So out of nowhere, when you're feeling resistance, your body might suddenly want to start napping, or you might just feel really fatigued. And I've noticed this with my mom. It's actually really funny because when we're having a serious conversation and I know it's something that makes her uncomfortable, she will start yawning. Like, she is tired, she doesn't want to talk about it. And to me, that signals to me that her subconscious mind doesn't want to have this conversation with me, even if her conscious mind is all ears. And so it's just very interesting to notice that. So that was number 4. Number 5 is disconnection. So you may feel numb, spaced out, or feeling off. That is a clear sign that you're feeling resistance of some sort. It is not in our natural state to be disconnected from feeling. And so if you're feeling numb, it's a very good sign that you're feeling resistance, because you might be afraid of feeling too much too soon. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the final sign that you're feeling resistance in your body is actually overthinking and thinking, I'm not ready, I need to rework this, maybe next month. Just constantly putting thoughts and most likely excuses to not do the thing that you want to do. And again, this is not our fault. It's all thanks to our brain trying to protect us. But if we are constantly overthinking, it's a clear sign of resistance. And so what all of this is going to lead to is for you to actually not take action and not do the thing that you want to do. And so that's why we want to move past it, so that we're able to overcome the thing that our subconscious mind is afraid of, and we're able to move forward and actually do the thing and get to the dreams that we actually want to get to.
I just want to briefly share more ways that it can come up in case it wasn't clear. Perfectionism, procrastination, over-preparing, overthinking, avoiding the thing that you want to do, and creating chaos, just so you can self-sabotage. And we talked a little bit about this in the last episode. And so let's take a few examples of how it would look like and what resistance is actually saying. So let's take Lizette. She is a visionary. She has an amazing, grand idea, and she wants to share it on TikTok, but she never hits the post button. And if she does, it takes her 5,000 hours because she wants to be perfect. And she has this deep fear as to what will my family think? What will my friends think? They're gonna say I'm full of myself. The truth is that she's just scared to be seen. And she grew up in an environment where they told her that it was better to stay quiet and not to call too much attention to herself, because that would make her look bad. What this resistance is really saying, it is actually very easy to be mad at ourselves, to be mad at our brains, to be mad at our subconscious brain, to be like, why are you doing this to me, brain? Why are you doing this to me, subconscious brain? All I'm trying to do is reach my dreams, build something meaningful, creating impact, and you're really out here preventing me from doing it. And what your nervous is really saying is, I don't feel safe to operate in this version of you just yet. I don't feel good doing that. Resistance is really a love letter from your nervous system saying, I need you to look at me. It is saying, I don't feel safe in this version of you, and I need you to take me along with you. And so it's not really a mindset issue at this point. It's more about you feeling safe and secure as you operate at this new level. And it always goes back most of the time to past experiences. If you're child self experienced that when you went after the things that you wanted and when you actually shared your voice, it was met by judgment, or it was met by things that made you feel judged, then of course you're gonna freeze if this is the traditional way that you've operated and you've experienced life, because it sucks. You don't want to experience it again, and your body and your brain are just trying to protect you. If you've experienced trauma, if you've experienced rejection or criticism in the past, your body is literally just trying to protect you. This is how to work through resistance and actually take aligned action. So the first thing that you're gonna do is regulate. Are you breathing fully? Are you unclenching your jaw? Are you expanding your chest? Let's take a moment, just take a step back and regulate. Step 2 is to take micro action. We don't need to build the 6-figure business by tomorrow. Let's take it one step back. What is one small thing that I can do that is enough and that is amazing right now? Even the smallest action will lead to momentum. Step 3 is to reassure yourself. Of course, this is going to be difficult. Of course, this is going to be difficult. It's something that you've never done. It's something that no one in your lineage has ever done. Are you kidding me? It's okay to feel this way. It is normal. How can we expect us to be 100% secure and confident when it's something that we've literally never done, right? Let's have some compassion for ourselves. Step 4 is a journaling prompt for you, which is, what is this resistance trying to protect me from? What is it trying to protect me from? And it's going to give you so many answers that is going to help. And so as we reach the end of this podcast, I just wanted to tell you that resistance is just a sign that you're growing. It's a sign that you're growing into the next level of who you are, that you're expanding into something different. And so let it be, girl. Let it be. Healing and taking action go hand in hand. You don't have to choose one. You don't have to be completely healed to take action. And many people think that when you find yourself, when you find your voice, you have to know exactly what to say. You have to know exactly how to execute. It happens together. We are in a constant path to find our voice. And so that is it for today, y'all. Remember that you don't have to be fully ready to jump into what you want to do. You just have to be willing. I just want to share that if you're ready to dive deeper into this and you want to get support, I would love to work with you one-on-one. I have a few spots open to work with me one-on-one, and this is a time where we're going to focus on you. We're going to focus on your goals. It's going to be a time every single week for 3 weeks out of the month where we focus on your specific goal. The people that are working with me right now are people who are starting their meaningful endeavor. One of them is starting a business. She's looking to expand from her traditional practice of law, which is so amazing, to something that's still in her wheelhouse, but it's going to help her community. And if you've been overthinking and want your inner support guide that's going to also help you with strategy, I am the person to work with you. Make sure that you apply with the link in the show notes. So if you watch this, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I have a gift for you if you're wanting more clarity in your life. If you're at a point where you're really at a crossroad and you need more clarity, I created a free guide for you. It is in the show notes. And if you like the podcast, please rate it 5 stars. I really would appreciate it. And that is it, y'all. Please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Rate it. And I think that is it. Muchas gracias. Les mando mucho amor. I really hope this was helpful and valuable. Saludos.